Just give us a few minutes. What's up, everybody? Deel Jr. here, coming to you live. I'm just going to share my testimony tonight, and I hope everybody enjoys it. And I hope God will open the hearts and everybody tonight. And we'll get going with it.
Hey everybody, I'm Ada. We have two lives going on at the same time. You may hear me talk, but you may not see me. Okay, now I got to get mine going. Hold on. Hey everybody, welcome, welcome. Here's my special guest.
What's up, everybody?
He's not getting in the picture. You need to get in there more than that. Lean on over and say hey.
Hey, everybody, what's going on?
We're doing a joint live, and it's kind of crazy. So I got to try to fix the camera to where I can get both of him and me in there and everything else. So we're listening to some cool jazz right now. We're trying to get everything worked out. This is the first time. Let me get it off. This is the first time I have ever had anybody in my studio. So give me a minute, because I got to customize this somehow. There we go. Nope. Now let me customize, because I can't get him in there, and I got to get him in with me a little bit, maybe. See if you can center yourself over here and get in mine a little bit. You may have to come back a little more, scoot your body back a little more. I don't know, you may have to lean. Look at my camera, babe, and try to get in behind me. Move your chair, move your chair. There we go. We got it. Cool. You guys, this is crazy. I know, guys, this is absolutely crazy. Okay, let me save the layout, and then I got to get Miss Diane on. Are you ready, Miss Diane? All right, there's our wonderful interpreter, Miss Diane. Hello, hello. Everybody, we have a very special guest, and I hope you can hear him. He may have to talk loud or get...
I already talk loud, so it's good.
Can you hear him, Diane, okay? He's a little low. I'm going to crank the volume and talk a little softer so he can talk a little louder. Try that again. Say hello.
Hey, Diane, what's up? How you doing? Thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
There we go. Okay, guys. For you, you might want to let them know that, hey, guys, you can leave comments.
Yeah, guys, this is supposed to be interactive, too, so you can also leave some comments. If you got anything, feel free to leave a comment.
Well, I want to welcome Dawn. Oh, sunny day, June Penny, Skitty Toilet. Is that your name for real? That's cool, y'all. And Kay Swan, thank y'all for joining. Tonight, I brought this wonderful young man. I call him young man. He's younger than I am, so you're a young man. In here, and what we're going to be doing is, I wanted him to talk about prison life. Actually, from jail to prison.
Yeah, we can do that.
Jail to prison. Talk about, you don't have to share what you did, but if you want to, you can. Let him give you a little 5-minute pre-testimony up to when he goes to jail. Then we're going to be asking questions. So in the comments, if you have questions, feel free to ask him questions. This is for you guys. And then we're going to have a little more testimony, but I'm sorry it's this way. We've tried to do it a different way, and I've never had a guest in my studio, so I'm going to need you to lean a little more. You're getting, yeah, there we go. No, Diane, you're fine. You were fine, my love. All right, so go ahead and give a quick 5-minute.
So again, my name's Deel Jr., also aka Addict to Athlete. Pretty much been a drug addict and alcoholic for most half my life. I'm 45 years old right now. We're about to be this month.
What?
And,
whoa.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
No, I was messing with stuff. I gotta do it. Did he just say it? Did he just say it? Does he deserve it? He deserves it.
Yeah, so and you know, it's been a roller coaster ride for me. Lots of highs, lots of lows. You know, bottom line is when I don't have a connection with God, I have no mental defense against drugs and alcohol, and it has caused me to you know, to waver, you know, or to go against what I think in my brain is okay for me to do. When I have that connection, I have a discernment where, you know, I know what to do and what not to do, and that's what I'm working real hard on this time is keeping that connection with God and trying to help others. You know, this is something I've been wanting to do for a long time to you know, have my podcast, and I just want to say thanks to my manager and to Ada for letting me be on today. I really appreciate it, and for giving me the opportunity to reach others, you know, with my story. I had liver and kidney failure. I've had cancer. You know, I've been through it. You name it. And as far as the prison goes, you know, I picked up my first felony in 2018. Well, it's almost 2019 for testosterone. I actually had a prescription for it, but it was way cheaper for me to get it on the streets. And I got involved with somebody that was getting watched, and I ended up getting busted for a manufacturer delivery charge. They were looking for him, but I got in the middle of it, and what I did was completely wrong. I do know that, and because I got caught up in that investigation, they gave me a 7-year sentence for it, and I had to go to, you know, first you go to county jail, you sit there for, it's supposed to be 45 days before you get transferred. I actually waited 12 weeks because they're so overcrowded. What's up, Bert? Love you, man. Hey, I'm gonna have you on my show one time too, man. Appreciate you being here, and thanks, man. But yeah, you know, we're gonna, so I waited 12 weeks to go because they're so overcrowded. And so, yeah, sit in county jail for 12 weeks. And then what they do is you catch chain, right? So they pick you up. You go.
Okay, wait, you catch chain?
Yeah, that's what they call it.
Okay.
That means when you get chained up with somebody, they don't let you go by yourself anymore. You have to be ankle chained and wrist chained to somebody, and that happens when you get to Bexar County. Okay, so Bexar County is huge. That's where everybody.
I know Wackenhut very well.
Yeah. So you get to Bexar County, and there's also guys coming from all over Texas, you know, South Texas region, that gets to Bexar County as well. And when you get there, they chain you up with somebody, and so you're paired with this guy the whole way there. And this is where I, you know, had my first, you know, I had been to county jails many times, you know, so that was nothing different for me, all misdemeanor stuff, but going to prison was definitely eye-opening. The guy that I ended up being chained to had a 50-year sentence for taking two people's lives with a baseball bat. So, yeah, and I'm in there, you know, and I'm not downgrading what I did or saying it wasn't wrong, but like, they don't, you know, a lot of people think they try to put you with people that are kind of like you. It doesn't, they don't do it that way anymore. It's too overcrowded.
I'm going to have you slow down just a little bit. Our interpreter is flying.
Sorry about that, Diane.
And she's been interpreting all day. So, the experience when you first walk into the jail, compared to prison. Now, it's my understanding jail is rougher than prison, because jail, nobody knows where they're going, nobody knows what's going on. A lot of them are not used to that environment. They are just coming off of all kind of drugs, all that kind of stuff. And I hear that jail is worse than prison in some ways. So give me a little bit about your experience as far as going in. Walk us through that first day.
Yeah, so you talking about county jail or in prison?
County jail first.
Okay, yeah, county jail, man, that was a bad experience, because I knew when I got in there I was going to be probably going away for a while. That was the hardest part about it. I didn't know at the time when I got there exactly how long it was going to be, but you know, we had to go through the court thing, and here is the the whole court thing and going back and forth, it took 4 months, I guess, before I actually signed for 7 years. They had
Okay, but when they arrest you,
yeah, I had a warrant for my arrest.
did you turn yourself in, or did they pick you up?
They picked me up at the house.
Okay, so we all know how they put you in the car. That's a given.
Yeah.
So they pull into well, they usually call them sally ports, the garage, or wherever it is that
it's
you
a
go.
garage.
They call them sally ports, and you walk in the door. First thing that starts happening. Walk us through that process.
Yeah, they put you in a holding cell. They strip search you first, and then and that's pretty intrusive, nowadays. And they put you in a holding cell for a day, sometimes 2, depends on what county jail it is.
And the time that you come in, because if the judge has already been there that day, then you got to wait till 24 hours.
Yeah, you got to wait till the next day to see the magistrate, and the magistrate tells you what you're in there for, and here's your court date. This is when you go. And the problem that I was facing was where I got arrested at for this was in a drug-free zone. I wasn't at a school. I was in a parking lot in a shopping center. But apparently, there was a park right behind there, and I guess the park was considered a drug-free zone. So that's an automatic 5-year sentence. Okay, that means you cannot leave prison until you've hit that 5-year mark. That's the first time you'll be eligible for parole. So I thought I was going away for a while, and I didn't know exactly what was going to happen.
So you're in the holding cell. How many people are there with you?
This last time it was just a couple, like 2 people. It wasn't a big jail I was in, but it was, I think about 1,000 people, maybe 2 at the most. It wasn't that much.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was, they feed you Johnny Sacks, for the first couple of days. It's the same sandwiches. Yeah, it's not fun, and you can't make a phone call while you're in a holding cell either, unless it's to a bail bondsman. But I had no bail because I was waiting to go to court.
Is it as cold as
It's freezing.
I have been in there doing ministry and other things, and they said, number 1, you can't wear a bra that has any wire in it. You can't have any metal, any wire, no shoelaces, leggings, sports, and a t-shirt. That's pretty much all I could walk in with. And it was cold.
Yeah, it's freezing. And if you're nice to them, maybe they'll bring you a blanket, but most times they don't bring you a mattress or a blanket or anything. You're just in there waiting.
Until the nighttime.
Yeah. And then they'll classify you in county jail, where they'll look at your history, and if you've had any trouble in jail, like fights or thefts or anything like that, they'll end up putting you with a group of people the same. Now they do that in county jail. They do classify you that there. So you should be around people, in a minimum. If you're not a troublemaker, they do try to separate you there. Yeah.
So now let me ask you, I know in prison this is a big deal, but in jail, is race a big deal at that point?
Not so much in county jail as it is in prison. Prison's bad.
Can you give me a city? Well, hold on. I got to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm not going to say that. I was just curious. Because now a lot of you know my ex-husband went to prison. So that's what I was asking. I was wondering.
Hey, speaking of prison, I just want to say a shout out. I know a lot of the guys are listening with their girlfriends on the phone right now, and I just want to say much love to y'all guys. I just got out December 23rd, and I do miss some of you. I don't miss being there, but Deel, I love you, man. Keep your head up, yeah, man. I've been praying for you too, man. I'm hoping everything good comes out of it. All right.
Well, and that's one thing that people don't realize is the emotional toll that all this is pulling on you. And your first time going into a jail, I can only imagine how shocking the experience is. But so how long did it take between the time you were arrested and that you actually got to the point that you have a conviction and then you were going to a prison? How many years?
So it took 4 months to go through court because I fought the drug-free zone, enhancement. I didn't know it was a drug-free zone. I was at the gym, for God's sake, when it happened.
So you won that. So you did not have that charge.
So I took that to a bench trial, which means the judge decides whether or not it's not a jury. So the judge basically, it's his call, and he got with the DA, and they decided due to it's my first felony and all that, so they said we'll drop the drug-free enhancement if you sign for the 7 years. My charge held 2 to 10 years. So 7 was quite a large number for me, being that it was my first felony, and I got kids, and I missed my kids' graduation in high school. I missed my daughter's birthday last year. That's the hardest part about being, away is missing out. And you think time stands still in there? It doesn't. I mean, everything keeps going on the outside, and everything is the same every single day there.
It runs very slow, but it keeps moving. So you kind of touched on in the jail, and you were there for how many months did you say before you were convicted?
4 months.
4 months. That's a fast conviction. Did you plea out?
No, I signed a 7-year plea deal.
Plea deal. Okay. He keeps cutting in and out. Let's see if you can get yourself a little more closer. You got plenty of room over here to get closer if you need to. Yeah, there we go. I apologize. Is that a little better? We'll see. So I'm going to try and keep your head in frame though.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to lean. There we go. So most people some people spend 4, 5, 6 years waiting for their full trial process to happen.
Yeah.
So 4 months was pretty quick. So what a lot of people don't realize, and correct me if I'm wrong, jail is pre-conviction and up to 1 year, less than 1 year.
You can be in county jail for a while, actually up to
after
2 years.
conviction.
Oh yeah, I think they have. They usually say they pick you up. It can vary. Yes, there's no set date. I mean, I've seen people wait a long time. I waited 12 weeks.
So it just depends on the crowding and the situation.
Correct.
Well, one of the things is that so the food is horrible. Is it noisy all night?
I mean, I was in a smaller place, so like I said,
You weren't in Whackin' Hut.
No. So
Whackin' Hut. Let's tell you. I don't know if you've been in Whackin' Hut, but it's like a 13-story building. It's a tall building, and after the first 2 floors, it's all jail cells. Each floor is, and it was in a kind of like a it's like a circle with a square with cut corners. And
yeah.
It was the filthiest, dirtiest place. I was not in jail. I was visiting. But it is awful, stinky, nasty, hot, sweaty. It was the worst locker room smell you ever smelled.
Yeah. Yeah,
So you didn't have that experience.
No, I mean, I was in there with 11 other guys. There's 12 people in my little dorm in county. So, it wasn't that bad. I mean, you occasionally get the bad snorer or, someone that doesn't take care of themselves or, but they have what you call hit the button, and that's the one thing you don't want to do in there because everybody, it shows weakness and if you don't like somebody in there and they'll make you hit the button. And if you don't hit the button, then you fight about it.
Well, it reminds me of the show Orange is the New Black. Don't hit the button, because if you hit that button, we're going to be hitting you when it's over.
Yeah.
Because everybody goes into lockdown. So now you go into prison. How was that transition for you?
So they picked me up at Bexar County. It's all day process. You go in through this door, and you're all sitting in this huge holding cell with 30, 40 guys, and they got them all in different cells, right? And then you all walk through this little corridor, and then you take your clothes off. They strip search you. You put on an orange jumpsuit and orange slides, and you can't wear anything else. Ever since that prison escape, they've been really cutting down on how they transport, and are getting harder on how they transport people. So they chain you immediately to somebody, and that's who you're chained to the rest of the time. And here, if you got to go to the bathroom, you got to take them with you, and there's only one bathroom and in the bus, and yeah, so
so is it the arm and leg through the door, and you half shut the door?
There's no door. It's a chain. I mean, it's like a chain link fence, like
for the bathroom.
For the bathroom, yeah. So you can clearly see it from sitting down anywhere on the bus.
I had to do a pee test.
Yeah.
For a job. And I sat there for 45 minutes. I couldn't do it with somebody in the room. I can drink. I did everything. Finally squeezed just enough out. But that is so unnerving. So, do you know how in the movies they portray that you walk through, you get your clothes, and then you do the walk of shame? Is that pretty much how it is?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you get to, once you get to prison, this is what I'll tell you what happened. So we take the bus all the way into Beeville, and that's pretty much where everybody goes in the South region, just to get classified, before they find it's called a transfer intake facility, basically. So you get to the intake facility, and immediately when you get off the bus, there's a sergeant outside who's yelling at you,
like the military,
just like movies. Like I can't tell. I'm not lying about that. Like, he's out there and he's like, "Look, I'm gonna make it easy for you. I'll be easy on y'all if y'all are easy on me. You give me any crap." They make you. There's a whole line of boxer shorts, white ones, that are up on the fence, like 50 to 75 of them, and they tell you to strip butt naked. And I'm talking
in front of the fence.
This is outside? In public. Yeah, like there's no fence blocking you. And you got guys all around you, and they're like, strip down, and then they walk by each one of you, and they have you, turn around, spread your cheeks, cough, that kind of sort of thing. And then once you're done, he'll hand you a pair of boxers, and
hopefully they fit.
They didn't. I had to tie them around me.
At least you could get them on. What about the guy that's 300 pounds?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're all one size, it seemed like. They were all like extra larges. So, yeah, I don't know. It was weird. They were all the way down to my, I'm not that tall of a guy. So, but yeah, and then,
they almost were long
and
gone.
It was really cold. It was like freezing outside. So everybody's just shaking, and it was a bad experience. It was just like that. And this is where it even gets worse. Well, I don't know what's worse than that, but they take you in, and you're standing in line, and you go to this barber, and he shaves every single hair off of your head and face, and they don't care about cutting you. I had like cuts on my chin, on the back of my head. It was I was bleeding.
It was rough.
It was rough. Yeah.
Military have it better than that. They don't cut them.
And then they send you to the shower, and then they give you another pair. Then they give you your uniform, and you stick it on, and then you got to go through all this intake process. It takes like 2 days, two full days, to go to see the doctor, the dentist. You go do all that, fingerprints, the eye thing. Now they do the eye the iris scan, and all that. They take your blood. To make
DNA testing.
Well, they don't do that actually till the end when you leave. And actually, I don't know why, but I never got DNA tested.
Well, I think so. It has to be court ordered.
Yeah, I think everybody told me when I got there that that's one thing that you do before you leave, and they will not let you leave without doing it. It's a law now, but I don't remember them ever taking my DNA unless the blood test.
Test, man.
Well, they told us that was for diseases. They want to make sure you didn't have any diseases coming in.
We got to slow down our talk, Miss Diane. I'm sorry.
So
you're good? Okay. So first night.
Man, I'll tell you what I saw the first night. So I can't make this up. So I get in there, and thank God I knew somebody that was in there, and he happened to be my bunkmate, and I knew him from county jail. He left several weeks before I did. So I get there, and I'm in a open pod, is what they call it, with 53 other guys, right? And this is where the race came into, I try to get along with everybody, but man, I saw some stuff there that, in my first day. Okay, so there's a pandemic in prison right now, and it's K2. It's it's that the fake weed or whatever, but they spray it on a piece of paper and they pass it around, and nobody can find it because it's on a piece of paper. It's sprayed, and they smoke this paper, and people are just like taking one hit and falling out, hitting their head. I saw 4 people die.
Yeah, if your kids are in that stuff, it's worse than anything I have ever seen.
Now they're spraying it with like fentanyl and stuff. So yeah, it's not good stuff, man. They even have it where they call it man down, because when you smoke one hit, you go down, and then they'll get right back up and do it. Well, the first night I was there, people were smoking it, and this one guy had a bunch of commissary. When you're in intake, you don't get to see commissary for like over a month almost.
Yeah, at least.
And so a lot of the guys in there did not have commissary, and they had no way to buy. You can't talk to your family. So when you first get, and I meant to say that, when you first get there, it takes like 2 months to get your phone set up so you can call your family. The only way to if you get a tablet like you're supposed to in 2 weeks, and your family has already set up the messaging on there, then you can message. But your phone, you cannot use the tablet to make calls until your phone number has been
well, and they also vet the people. You have to have a list of people that you give them that you're going to communicate with.
Correct.
You just can't call anybody you want. And as a wife of someone who went to prison, they background checked me.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And my children, and so it takes time for all that to happen.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, it was horrible not being able to talk to, my girlfriend, my daughter, my son, any of them, my parents, and I know they were all worried, because it's a new experience for all of us,
Well, and so, how long did you end up serving?
So I served 1 year and 3 months.
So the worst thing that happened to you in prison?
Man.
Oh, wait, before you go there, I want to talk about the races real quick, because I've been doing my research, and I found out in most prisons, and it may not have been where you were, but in most of them, that if you declare yourself white, you're put with all those Aryan Brotherhood people and all that, which have a lot of strict rules you have to follow. A lot of things you can't do. Like, you can't sit down and share a meal with a black person, but you can share heroin with a black person. What I learned was, you can't share a meal with a Mexican or Native American or black person, because that's communal, that puts you on an equal plane. But you can share a needle with them because you're both killing each other.
I hate to talk, about race, because I'm not racist, but
but it's a part of prison life.
It is a big part of it.
And see, a lot of Mexicans will say I'm half black to get in with the black people because it's better for them. I mean, each group has their little rules. Some are super, super strict, like the Aryan Brotherhood or the whites. And then if you get down to some other groups that are just kind of like, hey, just don't mix and don't mingle with anybody outside our race, we're fine.
Yeah.
That's what I was educated. Now I want to hear your
Yeah, so I was in the South region, okay, which means
you're not a Mexican.
Yes, ma'am. There was in a 54-man pod. You're probably seeing 4, maybe 5 white people, and then maybe like 10 or 12 black, and the rest were Hispanic. And there's so many of them that they basically run the place, and so I try to just get along with everybody,
Did y'all have a strict separation
so
between the races, like a prison that I know?
Yeah, I mean, it was okay. So it depends on what pod you're in. Let me tell you this part. I got shingles while I was in there. Okay.
Oh,
yes, and I'm still dealing with it. It's been 5 months, and it's I got a bunch of scarring on my neck, and I've never experienced anything like that, and I wouldn't wish it on anybody. It was absolutely horrible, and I'm still dealing with it. It's been 5 months. Like, if you see me scratching back there, it's my nerves are still messed up. Yes, when I was in there, they put me in solitary confinement because they didn't have a medical isolation. I had no tablet, couldn't talk to my family, all that stuff for like 12 days. And they left me in there by accident. I had gotten cleared after my antiviral medication was out, and they just left me in there for like 2 more days. No bath, I couldn't shower. It's in a room that I couldn't even do a push-up in. I had no books, no commissary, no phone.
Okay, how did that affect your psyche? Because there's a guy that is the Delphi murder trials where 2 girls were unalive. And he was charged with unaliving those girls. And they put him in solitary for 13 months.
Yeah.
He went so crazy, he was eating his fecal and all over. I mean, he just went.
Well, I tell you what,
he lost it.
It's really easy for me in my history. It's really easy for me to go to God when my life's in turmoil or I have nowhere else to turn. Okay, where I go wrong is I get comfortable when everything starts going good, and I stop praying and I stop in it. And that allows the enemy to come at me. He's been coming at me all day today. Doesn't want me to be on here. We
had a lot of technical difficulties.
Man, and he's been putting stuff in my head like I'm inadequate. All this stuff like doesn't want me to share my test. I know it's crazy.
I almost came out with the B, please.
It's all lies, but that's how it works. And in there in solitary confinement, I had nowhere else to turn but God. And I saw the chaplain in there walk by. He came by every once in a while, and I asked him, man, can you give me something to read? And I should have known he was going to bring me a Bible,
Future said that is how it is for many of us.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, Future. I know, and I'm working really hard to make sure I maintain that when things are going good, because every time I come back, it seems like I come back stronger. But that's where I falter. That's where everything goes to crap for me, is when I start relying on myself and not God anymore. And then next thing you know, I think it's a good idea to go to the liquor store or something like that. Right now it sounds crazy to me, but anyway.
I better not see you near liquor store. But I don't go into liquor store.
I'm good. I feel good. See, because look, why I use drugs and alcohol is to change the way I feel, right? Because I like to produce the effects produced by it. Well, right now I don't want to change the way I feel. I love it.
So at what point did that turn happen to you in prison?
Okay.
I want you to share. Okay, we know prison's horrible. We know it's bad. We do know that.
Yeah.
But I would like for you to share what was the turning point and kind of give your testimony. I don't want to keep people past an hour. Because most of my lovelies have been with me since 9 o'clock this morning, live. For y'all who don't know, I'm live from like 7 in the morning till 8 at night. I'm popping in here live.
No, you're good. Do it.
But we will figure this out better, because everything that could go wrong went wrong tonight. So this is really jacked up, but we'll do another one.
Yeah.
And we'll get it all worked out. I do got 2 mics set up, but we had to figure out. So share with us, what was the turning point? What was the lowest low?
Okay.
And where was the turning point?
Okay. Lowest low. I got out of the shingles. They took me out of isolation, and they take me to this pod, right? And they have it in this prison. It was the north side and the south side. Okay. The north side is where you have most of the workers and the people that keep busy while they're in there, like the trustees. And that's the side I was on. It's like the minimal side. Like when you don't get in trouble, that's where they put you, okay? And then when I got out of isolation, there was nowhere on the north side for me to go. So they put me on the south side. And I'm going to tell you, that was
That's like the north side of San Antonio going to the deep barrios on the south side.
I'm going to tell you what I saw as soon as I walked in, okay, which was unreal because I hadn't seen it that much yet, but I walk in and I have all my so they first took me to, they had my commissary and all my belongings packed up. They did it for me, okay, because I was...
no guarantee that your bunkie didn't take stuff.
Well, I had an awesome bunk. He's awesome, okay? I had a good... I had a good celly, and yeah, man, I love you, buddy. I know you're probably listening too. But anyway, he took care of everything for me, thank God, and I still contact him by messaging on the Securus app and all that. So, but anyway, so when I got out, they put me on the south side. I have all these bags of commissary, right? Like 4 of them. And yeah, my family took care of me.
You were a rich man.
Well, yeah, I mean, my family took care of me, for sure. If without their support, Misty, him, my parents, I wouldn't have. There was no way I would have made it through. But other than the fact that, when I was in that isolation, something happened to me with reading the Bible. It's one thing I never did was sit still enough to read that much, I think I read like 8 or 9 different books in the Bible completely, and it gave me life. I felt like I was okay, I mean, I was gonna be okay, even though I didn't know I was even going home at this point. Okay, like, so I'm in this. Let me just go back real quick. I signed for 7 years because I was eligible for parole in just 10 months. Okay. Because they changed it because it's so overcrowded. So if you have a non-aggravated charge, then
aggravated means something like a weapon was used in commission of the crime.
Yeah,
or what we call enhancements. But
correct.
Okay.
And as long as you don't have an aggravated charge, then you're pretty much going to see parole in a minute. I can't remember the exact percentage, but I want to say it's like 10% or something, or 15% of your sentence. But anyway, so it took me 3 months to see parole. Okay, after my parole eligibility date. That's how behind they are. When I saw parole, I basically made my first parole. So I knew I was getting out when they put me on the south side.
I've got a potty dog. Keep talking.
And
sorry, dog. Come on.
So they took me, to the south side, and at that point I did know I was going home. I just didn't know when. They gave me an FI6, which means it's a drug treatment program inside prison. And the problem with that is they're so overcrowded there too, and there's only certain prisons that host the drug treatment in prison program. So I was on a waiting list, so-called waiting list. And they take me to the south side after isolation, and when I walk in with my bags of commissary, I immediately see a guy smoking that K2 on the bench in front of the picket, which means they don't care that they're even watching. And he's like slumped over like this. And then I look over to the left, and there's a guy throwing up in the trash can from that K2. And then I see them doing other substances on the table, and I'm just like, man. So I put my, they tell me what bunk I'm in, right? And I go to put my stuff on the bunk. And the first thing you do is really make your bed, right? So I start to make get my mattress. I put it on a table, and immediately one of the Hispanic guys walks up to me and he says, "Hey man, that table is taken. You can't use it." And I was like, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah man, let me explain to you the rules."
Cut. I'm back. We're good.
And he goes,
"You're gonna have to come in a little closer."
So he goes, "Let me explain to you the rules here. You can only use the phones after a certain time. They're for the can I say what organization it was or no? One of the organizations in prison."
You can say the organizational name just as long as it doesn't have a cuss word. That's
yeah. So the Blast, which is like the biggest prison gang in Texas, they basically, and this doesn't help. I'm a big Houston Astros fan. Okay, so I have the Astro star on my back.
He's got it tattooed on his back.
I do, and that's their symbol. Okay, so I had to explain to everybody when I went in there, "Hey man, I'm not trying to disrespect your organization or anything. I'm an Astros fan. That's what it is, And usually they were cool with it if I explained it to them up front. But anyway, so I lay all my stuff down on the bunk, and when I walk over to do that, there's a guy on the bunk smoking that stuff. Okay. And I was like, "Hey man, I'm gonna get my stuff, and this is my bunk now, and all this. And so he kind of looked at me all funny, you know, and this was a crypt. They were in the crypt, and so, you know, but I had to tell him, you know, it's my bunk now, and so I remember I haven't talked to my family in 14 days. Okay, so first thing I want to do is make the phone call because they got pay phones, right? And I just got my tablet.
How much does it cost to make a phone call?
Well, they do it on their end, but it's like 6 cents a minute.
Oh, you kidding? Mine was $1.75 a minute.
No, that's at county. Yeah, it's a lot higher. But so I go to make the phone call, right? And I turn around, and the guy's sitting on my bed that I just made, which is a no-no.
No.
Yeah, you don't get in someone's face, right? And without asking, at least. Especially when they're doing that kind of stuff, because look, if they find that stuff in my area, then I'm in trouble for it.
So, just an example, if he's
yeah,
and all of a sudden the guard comes by and just a piece of that paper comes off of that
a roach or anything in my area,
just a hint of it, he's going down.
I'm going down. It's in my area. It's on my bunk in my space. So I went over there. I had to call. I think I was on the phone with my ex-wife and my daughter or something first, and I was like, hey, I got to call you back. And they were like, well, I'm just glad you're okay. You know, they hadn't talked to me. They had been calling up there, and they wouldn't give them any information, whether I was in medical isolation. Anyway,
they won't give you any information.
So I get there.
They'll tell me if you're dead or alive.
Right.
That's it.
So, but I see him smoking while I'm on the phone, so I hang up really fast. And I walk over there, and I'm like, hey, man, I told you that was my bunk now. And I tried to say it, like, not confronting, like, trying to be, because, look, I made parole already. I'm trying to go home. I don't know when it is. You were gone when I told this, but I don't want to mess that up by any means. And they random drug test you in there, too. So.
And not only that.
Yeah.
Other people know. It's weird how fast people find out crap in jails and prison about other people. So if they had any inclination that you could be going home that soon, they'll do stuff just to keep you there and mess up your exit date. Am I not correct about that?
Yeah, exactly. And so, you know, I have to tell this guy, like, you know, without trying to be confronting, like, you know, hey, man, you know, that's my bunk. And he's like, and he's smoking again, you know, so he's like half stoned out of his mind. And
you might want to say hi to them.
What's up, Cole? What's up, Tony? How y'all doing, man? Good to see y'all on. I appreciate it, buddy. We got to link up soon, Cole. All right, I'm gonna see you at that gym, buddy. Anyway, so we, you know, I tell him, you know, without, you know, trying to be like I want to fight or whatever, and he's like, well, I was sitting here long before it was your bunk. And I said, exactly, you said your bunk, it's my bunk now. And I was like, and at this point, everybody's watching, right? So now I'm in this position where this guy's going to want to fight me.
You got to put up.
And and what am I going to do? How am I going to approach this? I can't be known as, I'll get pushed around. They're going to steal all my stuff, that kind of thing. You know, so, and I look at the locker that I was about to go in, and there was a broken lock on it. So at this point, I don't know why the guy before me is even gone, okay? And I'm in his bunk now. So, but come to find out, they have broken into that guy's locker and stole all his commissary so they could buy more dope. So,
boy, you're in a good group of people.
Man, I'm telling you. And so, anyway, I tell him all this, right? And I said, but yeah, I was like, man, you didn't ask me to sit there, you know? And so I'm starting to get like, because everybody's watching, I want people to know that I stand up for myself, right? I've always done that. So I was like, and I said, you didn't ask me, man. And he just sits there, and I go, are you gonna ask me or are you gonna get up? Because there's only two options here. And so he stands up, right, and he finished smoking his little hit or whatever, and then when he walks by me, he brushes me like that. And
that's game on,
man. And so I'm sitting there like, all I see is red. Okay, like red. I mean, I literally see red.
If you want to unalive yourself there, just do that.
Yeah, so I'm like, man, anyway, so he ended up, thank you, sweetheart, I appreciate you. And so I end up basically, you know, the guy walks off, and I said a prayer real quick. You know, remember, I had just come out of this isolation where I spent 14 straight days with God and only God, you know. So I was feeling really good spiritually, and I immediately said a prayer, and I said, God, you kept me safe all this time. Please calm me down. What do I do from here? How do I act? And immediately, the white guy came over to me. Okay, there was only a couple in that dorm.
So
and
he knew.
Yeah, and he came over to me and he pulls me aside. He said, "Let me talk to you at the benches." So while he's talking to me over at the benches.
I thought you said.
No.
Benches.
No, they got benches, right? Which also in some.
He said benches, not benches.
yeah. Sorry, Diane.
That's okay. We say.
Yeah, I know. So he immediately takes me over to the benches, and while this is going on, that guy that I almost fought is over there going through my bag, taking all my tuna packs out, okay? And I didn't know this, but the white guy's talking to me, and I walk back over there, and I notice my bag is cut open because they couldn't get the tie. I don't even know how they cut it. It's like a red net bag. You can see through it. And so I was immediately pissed off, right? So I go run and I stand up on the table, which is what you're supposed to do when someone steals from you. And I was like, hey, I'm missing like 8 tuna packs that I know of, all right? And I named them all, lemon pepper, whatever I had, And I said, if anybody sees these and they try to buy drugs from it, I need you to let me know, because if you don't, that means you're condoning this kind of behavior in this pod. And I don't appreciate it, and I want to take care of whoever did this, and so it was a whole different lifestyle in there, Nobody.
Did you ever get them back?
No, nobody fessed up to it. In fact, the white guy came back to me
and said you should have done that.
And he was in an organization, okay, and no, he told me what I did was right, that I should have done that, and that's what you're supposed to do. But he goes, hey man, I need you to hit the button. We already kind of talked about the button. And I said, what? And I said, man, I didn't do nothing wrong.
You hit that button and they are going to have you for dinner.
He goes, hey, man, look. He goes, look, there's only 3 of us in here. And he's talking about white people, okay? And he goes, they've already stole from you right now. And you know who it is, but I couldn't prove it, They're going to steal from you again. And when they do, then I got to get involved because you're white. And he basically was just saying, that nobody's going to call me, a weak or whatever. I don't want to say a real word he used, but nobody wants to. Nobody's going to think you're weak. If you hit the button, as long as you don't tell anybody about what you saw in here. And he's talking about all the drugs and everything.
Oh, honey, I'd be singing.
Yeah, nah, and so I'm like thinking, man, dude, well, all my stuff's already packed up. Okay, so I didn't have to pack.
Close to going home.
Yeah, so it was packed up because I haven't even unpacked it yet.
Unpacked it yet.
Yeah, so I go grab my stuff and I put it up by the button and I'm contemplating it, right? Like, and then the Hispanic organization comes over to me, the blast, and he's like, man, what are you doing, man? And I said, the white guy wants me to leave, man. And he goes, but you didn't do anything wrong. And I said, I know. And he goes, man, that don't sound right, man. And he went and they had this huge gang meeting, like all about me, all the different gangs. And so he walks back over and he goes, man, if something else happens, the white people are going to have to get involved. And I see where he's coming from. He's like, but you don't have to hit the button, man. But just know, like, this could be a problem later if you don't. And I didn't already like the South Side. I've been there 10 minutes and all this happened, So I basically told him, I was like, you know what? And I said a prayer about it. I was sitting on the bench and I was like, should I hit this button? And I don't even know if the buttons work because this place was old. By the way, no AC. Okay, midsummer, it's 100 degrees. I'm not kidding. They had a thermometer.
Outside's cooler than inside.
Oh my gosh, yes. And I mean, I'm talking about by August, every single person in there had heat rashes all over their body. And I know prison's not supposed to be fun. I get that. I mean, we're all in there for breaking the law. But
the humanity of it, though.
Man, I mean, it's a whole different lifestyle, and it's a whole world in there, So I ended up hitting the button, and of course the cops come up, and it was the sergeant that took me to the hospital for the shingles, and they come with a whole band of officers, and
the SWAT, the prison
SWAT they come in,
team,
because they hear someone hit the button like somebody got in a fight, but nobody got in a fight, and they start asking me, what's going on, man? You just got out of isolation. I said, please don't send me back there, man, because I just spent 12 days. He goes, put your hands behind your back. And I was like, what? No way, man. Like, I didn't even do anything wrong, So he'd cuff me up. They take me outside, and as soon as I got outside the doors, they removed the cuffs from me, and they were like, hey, look, we know you're not a troublemaker. What happened, man? And I said, look, all I'm going to say is I don't want to be in there. I didn't want to be labeled as a snake. Because if one person finds out you said something about anybody and it travels, they will spread the word to the north side, south side. It don't matter.
You will get a rock and a sock.
Yeah. So I didn't tell nobody. I didn't say what happened or what I saw. He goes, look, man, I'm gonna have to put you in isolation just for but I won't put you in a holding in your own cell. I'll put you in the recreational room, which is about the size of this room. It has a pull-up bar in it, at least, so something I could do. And so he put me in there until he found me a place. And then I went to the workers' dorm, which is where I met Deel, one of my best friends in there. And that dude was really cool, and he taught me how to, how to overcome adversity in prison. He had been locked up for a long time, and since a very young age, and I hope he's getting out soon because he changed his life in there. The prison did what it was supposed to do for him. He went to school. He's working. He's the unit artist. He's just a really good guy, and gave me a lot of good pointers. And I know he'd be really happy for me right now that I've only been out since December 23rd, and I already hit the ground running with my relationship with God. And just super excited to be out of there. But when they finally put me back over to the north side, and then I was waiting 5.5 months for this to be transferred to this drug treatment program. And my daughter comes to see me on December 1st, which was a Sunday, and I'll never forget this. And my daughter's like, hey, Dad, will you be able to make it to my birthday party? And I missed the last year. And I said, baby, I don't think I'm going to make it. And it's March 1st, okay?
Oh, mine's the 26th.
Yeah, and mine's well, no, her birthday's the 27th, but we're celebrating it on March 1st, yeah.
Okay, got it.
And mine's the 29th. I was born on leap day, but there's not one this year, so I just celebrate my leap day birthday in prison. But the 28th is when I celebrated, so she was hoping to have a joint birthday party, and I was like, oh, hey, Elena. If you're listening, I know you had tutoring tonight, so I hope you were able to tune in.
Hey, baby girl.
And she asked me if I was going to be there, and I told her no. I haven't even been picked up for this program, so I'm at least at this point 6 to 8 months from going home. Okay. The next day on Monday, I get called into re-entry. Okay, which they had already called me in re-entry twice because they couldn't for some reason they were having trouble with my birth certificate. Or my social, and I already have a social, so I wasn't really concerned about getting another one. But anyway, I thought that's what it was for, and I walk in there, and she's like, "Hey, due to your recent parole vote," and I was like, "I haven't had a parole vote since since May 22nd." She goes, "No, that's not what it's saying in here." And I was like, "Man, they give me an FI6, which means home in 6 to 8 months," and of course it's been 8 months, and I'm still sitting there, haven't even went yet. She's like, no, parole just voted for you that they gave you a FI1, you're going home within 30 days. And all this praying that I had been doing, about, sending me home, it happened the next day. And,
You didn't wait 30 days, it was the very next day?
Well, no, the next day is, when I found out. And,
gotcha.
And so it actually took 21 days for me to go home. They got me home the day before Christmas. Misty picks me up, and hey, look, hi, Dad. And so I'm able to go to this party on March 1st now and see my daughter, and not just be there, but be present. And I wouldn't.
How old is she?
She'll be 11. Yeah.
Does she like makeup?
Oh, she loves makeup.
Is she listening?
Yeah, she's listening. Her name's Elena.
Hey, baby girl, I'm going to send you some makeup, honey. Happy birthday.
Oh, that's
I look like crap on that one. Y'all come visit my YouTube channel. I look a little bit better.
Yeah.
I'm a professional makeup artist.
Yeah, there you go. I got a whole makeup room.
You can bring her over back into the facial.
Yeah, so I get out of prison. I get to see my my daughter, you know, for a week or so, and
Sunny Day subscribe to you.
And
you're getting subscribers.
So I ended up, you know, like I ended up basically coming back to Kerrville as soon as I could, because what happens to me in Kerrville is I have to be surrounded by other people like me. Okay. At least for now. You know, I'm not saying one day I can't or God won't lead me somewhere else, but everything just seemed to fit perfect. Like where I'm at, where I went to, the job, like everything just seems to be lining out for me right now, and it's God. And there's nobody else that could have done that, you know, and got me out of prison.
I want to talk about, let's go back. You talked about all these health conditions you had. Share all of the health conditions you had. Was that during, before, after?
So before I went to, before. The first major incident was liver and kidney failure. I went into complete renal failure in 2000. Man, I was 26, very young. So almost 19 years ago. I get to the hospital, and I don't remember ever even going. Like, I remember being at my house feeling like I had the flu. And that was the last thing I remember at my parents' house. I wake up in the hospital and I see my parents standing there crying, and there's a chaplain praying.
That never good.
And the doctor is telling my mom and dad that I have only a 10% chance to live, and I can't see. And I'm like, I'm trying to open my eyes, and I'm thinking, well, man, maybe I know my eyes are open, like I can feel them. But I could tell it was my mom and dad because I could hear their voice, but I couldn't see them, and I couldn't figure what was going on. Well, the renal failure caused me to have a hemorrhage in my brain that made me lose my eyesight, and I couldn't see. I couldn't read anything like this far. I could tell if it was light outside or dark, but I could not make a. And I might be able to tell if you're a woman because the hair, you know, the outline.
So you were silhouetted.
I was basically silhouetted, yeah, and it was, and you know, so I had but I had a lot of people praying for me. My coach in high school came, Coach Langerhans, he was praying for me all the time. I had one of my other friends, Paul, his family was there. Eric, one of my best friends, his family was coming up there. His twin sister, Emily. I just had a lot of people that were on my side. One of my dad's best friends. My dad was a state trooper for almost 30 years, and he had a bunch of friends at work that would come, and one of them even gave me a cross that I still have to this day, actually. But anyway, after 42 days in there, every day started getting better. I was in intensive care, and they put me on dialysis, and it was really crazy because when you're watching the blood leave you, it's like dark, okay? And when the new blood's going in, it's like bright red. So you could, my whole body was poisoned by, and the reason my liver and kidney shut down is because I was popping Vicodin so bad. I was popping like 20 a day, and I wasn't even getting high. Okay, like I had to take that just to feel normal.
I take half of one and I'm under the table.
Yeah. No, I was.
Don't let this lard butt fool you. I am a super featherweight when it comes to meds, man.
Yeah, so I ended up in there 42 days, and the whole time I was in there, they put me on the Dilaudid pump because that bleed in my brain, and so I got introduced to intravenous drugs while I was in there. Basically, I'd never had drugs that way. And I was like, I'm not doing this anymore, taking pills.
Honestly, a lot of people become addicted to drugs through medical stuff. Yeah,
and so I ended up getting released after 42 days, and the first thing I did was take my parents' car when they were, sleeping, and I got a DWI. So I just get out of the hospital, and the first thing I do is go buy liquor and get drunk and get pulled over for not having a turn signal on, and I get my first DWI. So it's like my brain no normal person would almost just dying would go and do that, you know. But at the time, I had no spiritual connection at all, you know. I knew God was real. I've seen him work in my life before, but I just wasn't close to him, you know. And then,
So what got you to that point? Now, this was before prison, right?
This was before prison, yeah. So then I got cancer. Which I was so sick when I got sick mentally that when I got skin cancer, I was like, yes, I get legal drugs now. That was how I thought. No, this could kill me, you know. It was just the way my brain thought, and it was crazy when I look back on it in hindsight. But that's because I had no mental defense against using, you know. I had no spiritual connection, and that's why I say when things start going really good for me, you know, after I beat the cancer though, it was melanoma, and they took a big chunk out of my back, like that big, and I've since had surgery to fix the dent it left in my back, but yeah, it was a bad ordeal, and I went down to 125 pounds, okay, and I fell off again, you know, and this was 2017. You know, basically was going through the hardest time in my life, and I was living with my parents again. At like, you know, and they just couldn't see me killing myself every day with this.
That was mine.
Ooh, yeah. See, mine. That was almost like what mine was like.
Look at that.
That's the same spot mine was in.
And then I had to go back later. And they took the same length, but sideways, so they took that one out.
Yep.
So I have a T, one on my scar on my spine about that long, and I got another scar that big.
Yeah, mine's like 2-3 inches long, but it looks like that now, but it was probably like that. Yeah, show people mine too.
So this is what, you can see the cancer, look at that.
Yep.
That's what cancer looks like, babies.
Absolutely.
So yes, so I'm so glad you survived. Melanoma is actually one of the more higher causes of deaths of cancer.
Yeah, and one of my other moles had basal cell carcinoma too. So I've had that too. And anyway, you know, once I beat that, my parents, I was basically just I was killing them spiritually, mentally, and physically. You know, they're elderly, and you know, I don't want to say enabled me my whole life, but whenever I needed somewhere to go, they always took me in. Well, I ended up you know, pretty much on the streets of Austin. I was homeless for like 2 months, and I ended up just doing all kinds of stuff I shouldn't have been doing down there. And I went down to about 120 pounds, and I was like skinny as a rail. I knew I was going to die, and I did not want my kids to not have a father. And I wanted to make something of myself. I wanted to change. So I hitchhiked to a treatment facility in the Hill Country, and I ended up staying there for 20 days because they realized I didn't have insurance that worked. But during that 20 days, I got some hope. And my mental obsession to use drugs and alcohol was removed from me in the chapel there. I surrendered.
The time you were in Austin was 2000.
Yeah.
I lived in Austin in 2000.
Yeah,
I gave birth to that big birthday boy next door.
Yeah.
At midnight, he's going to be 25.
Yeah. And
so, talk about that experience.
Yeah, so it's just up and downs, you know, and like when I got to the treatment facility and I got some hope, and I'm like, man, maybe this works, you know, this mental obsession has been removed from me. It was all I thought about. Every second of the day, I want to use, how am I going to get it? How am I going to keep it? And once this mental obsession left me, while I was in treatment, I was like, wow, this must work, because only one thing could have removed that. Look, I've tried to stop for my kids who I love more than anybody. It doesn't work.
You got to stop for you. That's the end of it.
Yeah, and so, you know, I knew that something out of this world removed that from me. Okay, and so that gave me a little bit of hope, and that little bit of hope took me a long way. And I think I stayed in. So I started dedicating. I got to a sober home, and I started living there. I lived there for 14 months and took another manager job at another sober home and moved into there. And this whole time I had dedicated my life to my health because I had not done that ever. And during this 23 months that I had of sobriety before I got arrested for the prison charge was the most the healthiest I have been probably up until that point. And you know, I got really into the working out thing, so much so one of my photos went viral on Instagram, and it got seen by Men's Health and Fitness magazine. I think it was the photo that you posted on the
thumbnail.
The thumbnail. It went viral, and I started getting a lot of notoriety, a lot of followers. I think I got over I had up to 130,000 on Instagram at one point. When I went to prison, a lot of that fell off, and so did my algorithm, you know, but I'm not really concerned about that right now. You know, if God wants, you know, my story to be out there and share with others, then it'll happen, you know, and it's already doing that. So, but once I got entered in this contest in Men's Health and Fitness magazine, and it's for non-sponsored athletes. And it lasted 3 long months. Okay, it was a big, a big ordeal, and got me a lot of notoriety. So much so that I stopped relying on God again, and I started relying on myself, and that's what I'm trying to prevent. If you know, from happening to me again. You know, I started doing it for the right reasons, but I ended up doing it for look what I did instead of look what God did. You know, look how I've come back from all the overdoses, the jail, the prison. You know,
Satan knew that hook.
Yeah, for sure. And he's so tricky, man. He comes at me in all kinds of ways. Like this morning, trying to tell me I'm not adequate enough to be here and talk because I'm nothing but a screw up, or you know,
or messing with our technology.
With the technology. God. Yeah, you know.
Well, do you know what? We're doing it.
Yeah, for real.
Well, look, we have been on over an hour.
Yeah.
He will be back.
Absolutely.
He will be back. But thank you guys for allowing us to spend this evening with you. We here in my world, I'm going to turn this a little bit. There we go. In my world, I do this day in and day out. We do court TV. We follow court cases. And all we hear are negative things. The court cases we're following right now, a woman unalived her husband by hiring her boyfriend to unalive him. And another woman wrapped her baby in tin foil and then a blanket and put her in a trash can and threw her away. So we hear a lot of bad. And there goes our finest firefighters.
Yeah.
But I needed and I wanted you guys to see that there's good, and prison's a horrible place to be, and that's not where you need to go to get saved.
Correct.
But
well, you know, like I said,
it works everything for good.
Sometimes, you know, I gotta hit rock bottom and realize God's the rock at the bottom, you know, and I don't want to do that anymore. I want to know and maintain that He's there to be there. He's always been there for me. I turn my back on Him a million times, and every time I turn around and seek Him, He's standing right there saying, I never left you, son.
He follows you. You just got to turn around and look.
And I don't want to leave Him anymore.
Well, and that's where it comes to having other things to focus on, having accountability partners in your life. And I think you're going to do good. And there may be some bad days, but, you know, everybody has them, including me.
Yeah.
Including me.
And I just want to say one thing real quick. If anybody out there knows somebody struggling, hit me up, please, at Addict to Athlete on any of my social media platforms.
We have the YouTube up here.
I have resources. I have all kinds of stuff we can do. Even if you don't have insurance and need some help, I can link you with somebody that can get you in a sober home. I can link you with a treatment facility or a state where they can give for scholarships. Like, you know, don't think there's nothing out there for you, because there is. Anybody can come back from this. He doesn't love me more than He loves anybody else. I just turned around and said, I need your help again. And He's always been there. He's a God of many chances, you know.
Well, I want to thank we're going to hold on this one for a minute. We're going to hang up on mine. So y'all going to get to see my exit. everybody, thank you so much for joining us and blessing this fine young man. And remember, love your families and be kind to somebody tomorrow who looks like they're having a bad day, because you know what? Sometimes it's you. And just a smile can change your whole attitude. So I will see you guys at 8 in the morning, I believe. Well, look for my thumbnail. Click the bell. Do all the YouTube-y things. Oh, real quick, we got giveaways I've got to do. You guys, I forgot. We got 2 giveaways to do. There we go. There should... Oh, I moved it. I'll write it on my hand. Okay, guys, we do a giveaway, and this is something I do for all my lives, is that if you like the stream and then you comment "I liked" in my thing, it gets you into a drawing. We do a $50 gift card at the end of the month. Congratulations, Dawn! Yay! Okay, now we got to go to the other one, because we had 2 lives today, so both of them will be drawn. And the second one who's entered into the $50 giveaway, Rachel.
Congratulations, guys.
All right, guys, hopefully you win. All right, everybody, thank you so very much for everything. We will see you bright and early. We have the baby Evelyn first thing in the morning, and then we will try to continue to follow the Cimatilli, I keep wanting to call it Cimatilli trial as well. In the meantime, we're going to go hang with them for a minute. We'll talk to you later. Bye. Good night, and bless you. Okay. So what did y'all think? I don't know why my name is up there, honey. Well, we got to fix that.
Oh, yeah. It's all right.
Yes, I know. It's something up there. I don't know how. Oh, it's a brand thing. So we'll build you a brand.
Yeah, that works. We'll figure it out.
But anyway, he's a great guy.
Oh, appreciate
Y'all
that.
are so awesome to come in and support him. Way to go, Alan. Alan, I keep wanting to call you Dean because I had a cousin named Alan Dean.
I see you, Hen. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you and Lena being able to join. Thank you so much.
Yes, and it's, what's her name?
Hen. H-I-E-N.
Hen.
Yeah, there you go.
That's your daughter.
No, that's my ex-wife.
Okay.
My daughter's Elena, yeah.
Okay. The daughter, if the ex-wife is okay. The daughter I'll send you with you. I have some all natural, all healthy, organic makeup that won't harm her and give her any kind of,
Yeah.
any kind of complexion issues. So we'll get her a gift basket together.
Cool.
All right, guys. You sign us out. That's your channel.
Yeah, I just want to say, Cooper, I'm proud of you, buddy. Keep doing what you're doing over there at Texas State. I can't wait to see you on March 1st.
Texas State!
Yeah, he's the media guy for Texas State Sports, so he does all the baseball.
You need to get his butt over here and have him help me figure
I told
this out.
him he said he's going to make some videos for me, too. So.
Oh, you can't see it, but I got a thing called, maybe he knows, it's an ATM Mini Extreme
Oh, I'm sure
switcher.
he knows all about that.
Dude, I can't get the sound through it!
Hey, if you know how to do that, Cooper, I'll hit you up later, all right?
And I got me a Rodecaster. I'll buy you dinner.
All right, guys. Well, I really appreciate you joining me. There's going to be a lot more of this coming. Ada's going to train me on how to use all this stuff, so I'll keep you informed on when I'm coming on again. I'm going to have guests on, such as Bert. I really appreciate you, buddy. It'd be awesome to tell everybody how we met, man. It's a great story. So, and he's an athlete now too, and it would just be, and also next, an addict. So, it's going to be a lot. We're going to try to give hope to people. That's the main thing here. So I really appreciate you, everybody, joining. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me at any time. Never too busy to do God's work.
Blessings. Bye, guys. Peace out.